Hello, everyone, and welcome to this information session on the Bachelor of Arts at Deakin University. My name is Dr. Petra Brown, and I'm the acting course director of the Bachelor of Arts here at Deakin. Today, I'm also joined by my wonderful colleagues, Dr. Paul Venso, who is the Deputy Course Director of the Bachelor of Arts, and Dr. Danielle Chubb, who is the Course Director of the Associate Degree of Arts. Hello, Paul and Danielle. How are you both?
I'm very well, Petra. It's lovely to be here with you today.
Hi, Petra. I'm well as well. Yes, it's great to be here with both of you.
And it's nice to be here and nice to be here with our listeners today. We're delighted that you could join us for this information session as part of Deakin's Virtual Open Day. We'll also be hosting a live Q&A session straight after this presentation to answer any questions you may have. I'd like to start our presentation today by acknowledging that most of us are meeting on the lands of Indigenous peoples whose connections to their land have endured for thousands of generations. Deakin's campuses in Victoria are located on the lands of the Wurundjeri and the Wurrung people of the Kulin Nations and on the lands of the Gunditjmara peoples. We pay respect to these peoples and acknowledge the elders past and present. I'd also like to acknowledge all First Peoples who might be viewing this course information session. In today's session, we are going to explore what the Bachelor of Arts at Deakin is all about. We will talk about why you might want to study a Deakin Bachelor of Arts. We'll discuss what the BA looks like. We'll share our excitement about the BA, which we really think is a wonderful degree that is tailored to your passions. And we'll talk about practical things like entry requirements and application processes. We'll also in this session discuss the Associate Degree of Arts, and Dr. Danielle Chubb will be leading this for us today. So let's start with the most basic questions that you are likely to have. Why study a Bachelor of Arts? Well, there's a very practical reason to study a BA. Research has found that humanities graduates, which includes Bachelor of Arts students, can earn significantly more in their lifetime than students who complete their studies at high school. But there are other reasons to study a BA. One of these is the real-world impact you can make with your degree and the direct support Deakin provides in bringing your creative ideas to life. One example of this is Deakin alumni Tanya Dontas, who studied a double degree at Deakin University, completing a Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Commerce. Tanya is now the co-founder and Chief Operations Officer of Volley, an online marketplace and social enterprise that connects skilled people to not-for-profit organizations that are looking for skills-based online volunteers. Not only did Tanya study at Deakin, developing the knowledge and skills needed to begin her enterprise, she participated in a Deakin program called Spark, which provided mentorship and funding to turn her ideas into reality. Today, Tanya gives back to Deakin community by mentoring students who have their own ideas for startups, sharing her knowledge and what she has learned along the way. Tanya's is one story of where a BA can take you, but there are more. You might see some familiar faces on this screen, all Deakin alumni who completed a Bachelor of Arts. One example here is Miriam Rose Bauman, who is a renowned Indigenous artist and educator. She was the first fully qualified Indigenous teacher in the Northern Territory and is the founder of the Miriam Rose Foundation. Asmina Hussain is the first Muslim woman partner of law firm Maurice Blackburn. In 2021, she was awarded an Order of Australia Medal for her contribution to the community and law. She is a Deakin Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Law graduate. Some of you may be familiar with the comedy of Stella Young. No longer with us, she was a passionate disability advocate, well known for her warmth, wit, and wonderful sense of humor. She was also a Deakin Bachelor of Arts graduate with a journalism major. These are just some examples of Bachelor of Arts graduates who used their studies and their degree to make their way into the world in very different ways. These examples show how dynamic, impactful, and responsive an arts degree can be for those who want to create a new world. They show how new ideas injected into essential fields can lead to change. Obviously, all these wonderful examples of BA graduates are also good reasons why you might want to study an arts degree. But let's get into some more specific reasons that relate directly to you as a student considering your university degree choices. Within the Deakin BA, you have the option to create a degree tailored to your interests. With over 30 specialized study areas, you'll be able to explore your unique ideas alongside experienced academics who are also leaders in their fields. You'll gain practical, hands-on experience with access to purpose-built facilities, including technology. You'll be well prepared for life after your degree with a competitive advantage and opportunity to develop global connections and networks over the course of your degree. And you'll be able to do all of this at a university that is first for student satisfaction and educational experience within Victoria, and that is amongst the top 1% of universities worldwide. Today, myself and my co-presenters are especially proud to be talking about the new Bachelor of Arts at Deakin. This is a unique arts degree that is designed with a built-in focus on addressing current and emerging global challenges. Paul, what benefits do you think the Global Challenges sequence will give to students?
Petra, we've heard from students recently and their desire to make a difference in the world. And that's not just in terms of their own lives, but it's also having an impact in their communities and having the opportunity to gain the skills and knowledges to approach, understand, and potentially respond to the big problems, big challenges that face us today. And that's what our Global Challenges stream within the Bachelor of Arts is really all about. So it fosters critical and even creative thinking, upskilling people in communication, helping them to kind of, gain those skills to do the kind of problem solving that will help our future leaders emerge.
Thank you so much, Paul. Alongside this global challenge focus, you are in charge of curating your career from your first day of enrollment. Danielle, why do you think this career focus is so helpful for students?
Well, Petra, we also know that while students are undertaking the BA and learning exciting new things in their chosen field of study, they're also thinking about what they're going to do afterwards. And so Deakin is providing this unique and exciting opportunity, I think, to provide, I guess, what we might call real-world experience, to develop the kinds of skills that you're going to need in the workplace. And it's going to help you translate the skills you learn in your Bachelor of Arts into a successful career, things like leadership skills, insight into how different kinds of organizations and corporations work, provide networking opportunities, and also real industry engagement that are tailored to the many different and varied career aspirations that our Bachelor of Arts graduates have.
Thank you so much, Danielle. And finally, our new BA is also designed to deliver meaningful learning experiences outside the classroom, offering a range of flexible study options that enable you to complete your degree in your own way. So let's actually talk about what the new BA looks like. We are today looking at the new 2023 BA structure, which is no doubt what is of interest to most of you here. All students in this structure complete 3 Global Challenges units that give you broad exposure to the ways in which the arts degree as a whole can make you a contributor to addressing our social, economic, and environmental needs in the 21st century, as just outlined by Paul. All students also complete 3 Your Future Career units that enable you to curate a personalized career path over the course of your degree, as just outlined by Danielle. But our new BA also encourages you to focus on what you are passionate about and to choose your own areas of specialization. You can see these reflected here in what we call major and minor sequences. And you can choose to complete either two majors or a major and a minor within the course. As well as areas of specialization, the BA offers you areas of exploration through electives, which can be from any study area, both inside and outside the BA. Let's say a few more things about these areas of specialization that we just refer to as majors and minors. This is where you as a student can really personalize your degree. At Deakin, we offer over 30 areas of specialization. And as you can see, there are a lot of options. Areas of study including traditional humanities disciplines like philosophy or history, as well as those in social sciences like politics or criminology. But our BA students can also study in the communications or creative arts, things like advertising, digital media, journalism, or visual arts. Paul, what are some of your favorite areas of study here on this list?
Oh, Petra, you know, it's so tempting when I see this list to give a shout out to many of my favorites here. Of course, my area is writing and literature. And I know that, that you and Danielle have your kind of favorite areas too. But I would probably give out a shout out today to something like performing arts for dance and drama, you know, which is something that I think, you know, really dovetails beautifully with a number of different areas, whether you're interested in, say, creative writing as well, script writing, for example. You know, that there's some fantastic things going on there. I note too, look, students, future students seem to be really excited about the possibility of doing sport journalism as well, which is a really exciting new addition to the list that we have on offer. But there are some great things here, aren't there?
There sure are, Paul. Danielle, what recommendations do you have for students today?
Thanks, Petra. Yes, I also look at this wide range of study and think about all those things I wish I had studied as well myself at university, but we could only choose a few things. So I am a lecturer in international relations, and I see students at the start and the end of their degrees. And in my experience, well, I personally, I'm very biased. I think that understanding how kind of the world works is very important, and understanding kind of the decisions that are made that affect our everyday lives. But I know that students bring to it so much deep background when they're coming from history, for example, because they're able to give context to what's happening today. Sociology, able to understand the way in which we respond to each other, or kind of on a local level, affects the global. And also something like philosophy, which gives you the background to this critical thinking and the big ideas, and helps you listen to the world around you and understand perhaps what some of the underlying motives are, or the bigger picture in the way world leaders are thinking and talking about these issues.
Thank you so much, Paul and Danielle. It's great to hear about both your favorites and recommendations as well. So the wonderful thing about all these options that we're seeing here today is that you get to curate your future career. And what might that look like? Well, we've heard some recommendations from our panel, and we are certainly very knowledgeable, but you can also really do some new things that are tailored to your interests and passions. So here are some examples that show you how you can combine areas of specialization that lead to real-world career opportunities. For example, with specialized knowledge and skills in both history and strategic advertising, you could find yourself as a manager for galleries, libraries, and museums. So there's so many examples here of different ways to combine areas of specialization that enable you to curate your own career path. Now, earlier, we mentioned some Bachelor of Arts alumni who had also completed degrees in other areas of the university. We mentioned the Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Commerce, as well as Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Laws. In fact, the Bachelor of Arts combines with a lot of different degrees at Deakin, and you can see these listed here. Completing what we call a double degree enables you to explore new ideas and expand your work opportunities. While you're a student at Deakin, you get a lot of support. We can't list everything in today's presentation, but we would like to highlight a few areas, including scholarship and financial support that provide you the best possible chance at success while studying. Deakin also empowers you to explore your career opportunities, offering programs that help you to confidently present your skills and experiences to employers. You'll have access to these resources right throughout your degree. So let's cover a few important course details. The Bachelor of Arts as a degree, as a course, is offered at Burwood, Wampons, and online. It's a 3-year full-time course or part-time equivalent. If you are here today, you have already completed your schooling and are intended to apply as a non-school leaver, we are also taking T2 enrollments into the current BA. The closing date for this is the 26th of June. There's also a T3 intake. If you are completing your schooling at the moment and intending to apply for the new BA, there are 3 intake opportunities in 2023. If you are joining us as an international student viewing this session, please join our international student information sessions for more information on international entry requirements. So how to apply? For school leavers, application into the new BA commencing in T1 2023 are made via VTech. For non-school leavers, you apply directly to Deakin. So that's just an overview for you of the Bachelor of Arts. I'm going to hand over now to my colleague, Dr. Danielle Chubb, who is the Director of the Associate Degree of Arts.
Thanks so much, Petra. Now, much of what Petra had to say about the way the Bachelor of Arts is set up, especially the information about the specialisations, is very relevant to students looking to do the associate degree. But there are a few differences, and so I'm going to speak about those now. The associate degree is a degree for students who are interested in entering university, but who, for a variety of reasons, don't quite have the requisite entry requirements for direct entry into the bachelor degree. So the associate degree is designed specifically for those students and will help you achieve your goals at university. It's actually the only degree like it in Australia, this one that we offer at Deakin, where you enter directly into the university alongside other university students doing bachelor degrees for all your major, minor and elective classes. You'll be sitting in the room and learning along with other students from the Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Criminology. But also to help you optimize your experience, to recognize your own particular circumstances, and to find the best pathway for you, we have a range of supports available. One of those is that we have a great team of student advisors who will sit down with you, either in person or over the phone, and help you design your course. And as we mentioned earlier, as Petra and Paul and myself were talking about, one of the best things about studying in the Faculty of Arts and Education is the sheer range of subjects available. In a bachelor degree, you have so much choice. Of course, this can at times mean it's tricky to work out which ones to choose, and this is where our student advisors really come in. So we encourage you to have a look at those. The associate degree is designed, therefore, to help you achieve your goals and enter into your target degree, as well as being able to experience the full range of subjects available to the BA and BCrim students. Completion of the associate degree will give you guaranteed entry into those bachelor degrees where you'll be poised for success, having already completed up to 16 credit points in the associate degree, and you take those points across with you. A big part of helping you achieve your goals as well in the Associate Degree of Arts are a range of tailored units, 4 tailored units that you will complete in the first year of your associate degree. We've developed for associate degree students a targeted program of skills courses in communication, reading, writing, presentation skills, digital literacy, critical thinking, and teamwork, which are all essential components of any university degree and will set you up for success if you do decide you want to transfer or move into the Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Criminology after you complete the associate degree. And these courses, I think they're just terrific. They're delivered specifically to associate degree students. The classes are smaller and the teaching staff is highly experienced. and available to you all along the way. On the next slide, we've just got another infographic kind of just summing up those key points. So in the associate degree, you come in, but what you get that's a bit different to students that go into the bachelor degrees is you have access to a whole range of study support services that are tailored for you. You get to take part in foundation units, which I'll talk a bit more about in a moment. There's a whole range of career development support. You will learn transferable learning skills that you take with you. And it's a very supportive environment where you'll get to know each other and get to know the faculty as well. Now, these units, these skills units or foundation units that I was talking about, that you take them across the first year of your degree, and they include communication skills for study and work, as you can see here, a whole range, a subject that helps you understand digital literacy, which is really about how you interpret the huge range of information out there in the world. How it gives you skills for evaluating it, identifying it, and interpreting it. You'll also need to learn the starters of critical thinking, and we help you with that, and also how to do the teamwork that you do take part in university. So applying for the associate degree is slightly different to the bachelor degree. It's through direct application only, so you apply directly to Deakin, not through VTAC. And it's open to everyone, and it best meets the needs of students with, perhaps you don't have any study experience, or you're returning to study after a substantial period of time. Perhaps you left school before year 12, or you left school recently with year 12, but your AHR didn't quite let you get into the degree that you wanted to. So this is really targeted at those students. And upon application, what we do is we consider your full range of educational experiences, including any vocational training you may have undertaken, as well as looking at a short written personal statement that you provide, in which you're asked to tell us all about the skills and backgrounds that you bring that will help you with your studies, as well as what you hope to get out of your associate degree. So that's all I have to say about the associate degree for now. As Petra said, we are available for Q&A sessions, so I'm happy to answer any questions. And I'll hand back to Petra now.
Thank you so much, Danielle. And thank you everyone for joining us today. It's really great to see so many of you interested in the Bachelor of Arts and the Associate Degree of Arts. If you'd like to learn more, please explore our virtual open day website, where you'll find additional information. We also encourage you to stick around for the live Q&A session, which is about to kick off. If you need to head to another session, you can speak anytime to our experts on live chat who are available to you throughout the day.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the live Q&A session for the Bachelor of Arts. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. My name's Joanna Cruikshank, and I am part of the history staff here at Deakin, and I'm also course director for the Bachelor of Arts Honours. And I'm here with several of the leaders of the Bachelor of Arts course team. We're ready and keen to answer the questions that you might have about the BA. I will ask each of our presenters to introduce themselves in a minute, but just a couple of technical things. If you'd like to ask a question, please type your question into the Q&A section in the question panel on this page. Lots of you are doing that already, which is fantastic. And we'll do our best to respond to all of your questions during this session. We may not be able to get to all of them. So if you do have unanswered questions at the end of this session, our team of experts will be available on web chat all day to assist with any questions. And that includes any specific international student inquiries that you might have if you're in that situation. At the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, you'll notice that there's a little yellow Chat Now button. Please click on that after the session if you do want to be connected to our team on web chat. So to kick us off, we've got plenty of questions already. So I'll just briefly give an opportunity for each of our team to introduce themselves, and then we'll get stuck into the questions. So maybe first of all, I can hand over to you, Petra.
Thank you so much, Joanna. Thanks everyone for joining us this morning. I am Petra Brown. I'm the Acting Course Director for the Bachelor of Arts. Very happy to be here. I'm going to hand over to Paul, my colleague.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Petra. Thank you, Joanna. Great to be here. I'm Paul Venzo, and I'm the Deputy Director of the Bachelor of Arts, and I'm a Senior Lecturer in Writing, Literature and Gender and Sexuality Studies. And I'll hand over to Danielle, who I see at the bottom of my screen. Hello, Danielle.
Hi, Paul. Hi, everyone. And thanks so much to everyone for joining us today. I'm Dr. Danielle Chubb, and I'm the Course Director for the Associate Degree of Arts. So if you're here as somebody interested in entering Deakin via our Pathway Associate Degree of Arts program, please don't hesitate to ask us any questions you might have. Thanks so much. I hand back over to you, Joanna. Joanne.
So first of all, I'll share a question from Sylvia, which I think is actually represents a couple of the questions that we've been asked. So it's a really good one to start with. Sylvia's asked about the majors, minors, and electives that are available and how many students can do when studying a Bachelor of Arts. Perhaps you'd like to kick off with that one, Petra.
Okay, I'll start us off, and then I'm going to hand over to Paul because we both have very specific ideas about what you might be wanting to study. So we have got a wide range of majors and minors that we described in the course information session, and everyone has their own favorites. Mine, I actually completed a major in journalism and a major in philosophy, and I ended up following philosophy into further study. But we do have a range that you can choose from. And you will also notice in the brochure that you can download from our Open Day site that there's a way that you can structure them together into your own specialist kind of unique degree design. So that even though they look very different, it's really about you following your interests, your passions, as I did, as Paul did, and then you can tailor towards your own specialist interests, and you create your own unique degree within the BA. And that's really the beauty of the range of majors and minors that we offer and how you might combine them. And both the course information brochure and our presentation, we showed you some different ways you can combine majors and minors, even thinking about where you might want to go in terms of employment down the track. Paul, why don't you share some of your favorite?
Oh, goodness. It's like trying to pick a favorite child, isn't it? Look, there are so many great things that you can do. In my case, I had a pathway a little bit like Petra. I started journalism, but then sort of went over to the dark side of studying literature and languages and art history and cinema studies and that area. So there's a magic slide as part of the presentation, which you'll be able to access, where you can look at all of the different possibilities for majors and minors that are listed there. I really encourage you to do that. Ask our course teams what's available as well. And if you have, I think Sylvia might also be asking a question about, what you can actually fit into an arts degree. And I think the best way, because it really depends if you do a double degree or a straight arts degree, I think the best answer to that is you do a major as a specialization, you do a minor as a minor specialization, and then you have a few electives that you can fit in around that. So you can create the kind of degree. I think, Petra, you talk about tailoring a degree that really suits you. So in my case, it was about combining a number of different arts kind of areas so that I would have, the specialization that I needed in the kind of work that I wanted to do. So I really encourage you to look at that slide and to really perhaps think outside the box about the kinds of combinations that you can do. You might do something really creative, and then you might have something that's much more sort of theoretical as well.
Fantastic. Thanks, guys. We also have quite a few questions, and we always do, about opportunities for work experience and work placement. Chris is one example of people asking about this, and they ask, what kind of work experience can I get through the BA?
Thanks so much. Do you want to start this one off, Paul?
Oh, look, I'm just so excited that somebody has been asking about this, because I think, you know, there are some misconceptions about doing arts and what that means about employability. Actually, employability for arts graduates is excellent, and it just gets better over time as you exit your degree. So what we try and do is to make sure that you have opportunities for connecting with partners, to be doing kind of placement experiences as part of your Bachelor of Arts. And Petra, we now have a new stream within the Bachelor of Arts. It's going to make sure that it's really focused on employability, on preparing for that career or careers ahead, because we know that people will exit with lots of different kinds of opportunities, don't we?
Yeah, thanks, Paul. And really, that employability stream and thinking about your career, you start from your first trimester of enrollment, and certainly from your first year. And that's how we've designed the new BA, so that you start thinking about where you can go with your tailored degree from your first trimester, rather than worrying about it at the end. And we do offer within that employability stream a range of units that can include internships that provide you an opportunity to turn any existing voluntary work that you're already doing as part of your degree, that provide you an opportunity to do study tours. So it's not one thing that you're going to be doing, it's a range of opportunities that allow you to really explore what your major, minor specialization might look like in the world of work after your degree. So as Paul said, this is something that we've really taken seriously as part of our BA, and we're really excited to be able to invite you into that and into that stream within the course.
Fantastic. I guess could be slightly related question, because you mentioned study tours there, Petra. Jamie's asked about opportunities to study overseas during the BA, and what kind of opportunities there are for that now that we can actually travel again. It seems like an exciting opportunity that people might want to take up.
Thanks so much. And yeah, the BA has a flexible structure that allows you to take units outside the university and have them credited towards your BA. And we do offer the opportunities also study overseas at other universities while you're in your BA. Usually most students do that around the second and third year. And they really find their own opportunities as part of that. And we also offer more structured opportunities within the Bachelor of Arts itself. And I know also there are information sessions around opportunities for that as part of our open day sessions and sequences. But we do offer a lot of opportunity, and those applications come around in opportunities often come in second and third year, as students really start to think, oh, I would like to go overseas to Europe, to the US, to Canada, to parts of Asia, and I'd really like to start to see what my language might be in that country, or apply skills in performance arts, or try to test something in studies in your international relations majors, and what that might look like within country contexts. So we definitely offer a range of those opportunities. Paul, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I get, you know, quite a number of students, you know, who get in touch with me when they're trying to plan their study abroad. And it's really exciting to think that there are opportunities kind of as part of your Bachelor of Arts to do that From what I know from those students, it really absolutely adds to their experience. Of course, we've had a couple of years where it's been really difficult to do that, but we now see students able to travel and study overseas again. But I think there's also those opportunities, as you mentioned, Petra, about the kind of, you know, potential study tours and those sorts of things that occur as opportunities that come up throughout a degree. So it's worthwhile, you know, in your particular, you know, subject areas, talking to your tutors and lecturers about those as well. And I think overall, we have some great partner universities around the world. So there usually is something connected if you're, you know, if you're interested with your area of specialization. So that's exciting. And of course, we also have overseas students that come to study with us. So if you're a domestic student, it's a great way of meeting, you know, student colleagues from around the world too.
I thought I might, Danielle, throw a question to you because we've one topic that we often get a lot of questions about is pathways into the BA and the sorts of options that are there for people who perhaps either have been out of study for a long time, aren't sure how they would go in the BA. So I'd love it, Danielle, if you could just say a little bit about the associate degree and the kind of opportunities that offers.
Thanks so much, Joanna. It's the associate degree, I think, is a really exciting program, and it offers opportunities to potential students who might, you know, really want to go to university to fulfill their perhaps study or career goals, but for whatever reason don't think that going straight into the BA is the best option for them, or can't go straight into the BA. And usually, if that's the case, there's a need to kind of equip you with some skills that will help you succeed in the BA. And so what we do in the associate degree is we try to provide you with the opportunities to learn those skills. So there are what we call foundation units in the first year. And in those you learn, you know, some of the really important things that you need to survive in an arts degree, such as digital literacy, you know, how to go out and find information online and interpret it correctly for your assignments, critical thinking, which is a big part of every degree. And I think it's a real advantage as an associate degree student to do that, and teamwork and some other units as well. And you also, within that, it's a 2-year program. Within that program, you also start doing your majors and minors. So you can look around and say, oh, I really want to start doing a drama major or an English lit major or a politics major, whatever you want. You have access to the full range of majors that Bachelor of Arts students do. And then once you've successfully completed 2 years of the associate degree, which is those foundation units plus starting off a BA, you automatically can articulate, we say, straight into the Bachelor of Arts, and you take credit points with you from your majors and minors into the BA. And if you're not aiming towards a BA, you can also then apply directly to into other bachelor degrees, and you'll be better equipped to apply for those. So if you're interested in that degree, the application process is a little bit different. It's not through VTAC. You apply directly, and all the information is available online.
Thanks, Danielle. And I really do want to just commend that. If you're a little unsure about how you would go in the BA, if it's been a while since you left school and you're feeling that your study skills are a bit rusty, I definitely commend the associate degree to you. I think it gives you a really fantastic foundation for the BA or for other courses. So we've got a great question here about the relationship between arts degrees and teaching. I wonder if Petra or Paul, the question that Mark has asked is, can you study an arts degree and then go on to become a teacher? We're obviously not involved in running the education courses, but certainly we do have students in this situation. Paul or Petra, I wonder if you want to just briefly comment on that as an option.
I might start this one, but Paul, feel free to jump in shortly. So one of our popular courses is the Bachelor of Arts, Master of Teaching option, which enables you to complete your BA and then a Master of Teaching for a secondary teacher if you are interested in that. So a lot of students, it's a 4-year degree, and they find this to be a really good option if they want to go into teaching. We do offer also for anyone with a general interest in education, we do offer an education major as one of our suites of majors and minors. This does not qualify you to be a teacher, but for those of you with a more general interest in education and might want to take a little bit longer to think about whether education or teaching is for you, this is a good option to explore as well. And as Joanna said, we would of course encourage you to also attend the education courses information session today if you are thinking about teaching. But just to say, if you are thinking of combining your BA with teaching, we do offer a separate course in that, the Bachelor of Arts, Master of Teaching. Paul, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I suppose there are two ways of doing it. I mean, so in my area, we have a lot of students that come from education who pick up electives. I teach in children's literature, so that's a kind of, a natural space for teachers to be interested in. And then the other way as well, so people who do a Bachelor of Arts and then kind of top that up, if you will, with the degree in education that will enable them to go off and teach in the classroom. I think the other thing to remember is that there are lots of different forms of teaching, lots of different forms of education as well. So it may be that, you don't necessarily want to do kind of primary school teaching or teaching in a secondary school classroom, but there are other forms of teaching that you might be interested in. And doing a BA, if you target a particular major, that will give you that specialisation. Say, for example, if you wanted to go off and do teaching for adult education, as an example. So I think it's Mark who asked that question, perhaps. So Mark, have a think about, the way that suits you best to kind of tackle that. If you do want to become a teacher, have a think about what kind of teacher you want to be and what kind of specialisation you might want to bring to that.
There's plenty of questions still coming through. So if we haven't answered your question yet, I'm going to keep working through them as they come up. A really terrific question about an area that Deakin has a real strength, I think, which is online study, off-campus study. We've got an anonymous question that asks, what is it like to study a Bachelor of Arts online? Which I think is a fantastic question. All of us here are involved in teaching online, and it is traditionally an area that Deakin really excels in. So I think probably any of you could speak to that. Is there anyone who'd like to chip in first?
Oh, look, because I've been around for a million years, I've kind of seen the transition in higher education into the online space. And I shifted to Deakin at the point where I think, and I won't mention that other institution, when I got to Deakin, what amazed me and excited me was just how invested Deakin has been for a very long time in education in the online space. I remember some of the earliest platforms that we used to use, and of course things have changed quite a bit now. But when the pandemic hit and all universities really, in Australia and globally had to find their feet in the online space, Deakin was already there. So that transition for us, was really seamless. I'm excited about the things that we can do, the options, for what we might call blended study, to make sure that on-campus students have the best of both worlds. And for students that simply can't be on campus, our online courses are, I think second to none, at least in Australia. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree, Paul. And our BA, you can actually complete wholly online. So if a lot of students enroll only as online students and they never see a campus, and yet they feel part of the Deakin community, they feel part of their cohorts, they love their studies, they're engaged with their studies and with each other and with their teachers. So we do really well in that space, as Paul said, and many of us really, we did transition very well to online only teaching over COVID. And we, of course, continue to hone our skills during that time as well. But we are very well prepared to support students online. And we increasingly, as Paul said, we have a blended model, and many students who start as online students might then enroll for 1 or 2 subjects on campus or vice versa. So we really want to offer students that flexibility. And the other real benefits, just to add a plug to Deakin as well, is in our trimester system, students often find they might come on campus for part of the year, and then they'll take a unit in online mode over T3 to fast track their degree or to catch up on any units. So it's that real, we support online students. You can complete your BA as an online student, but we really support also that blended mode and taking some units on campus, some online only, to in terms of the flexibility and what suits your learning.
Can I jump in with one more thing, Joanna? So I'm speaking here as a senior lecturer in international relations rather than as associate degree, because one of the things about the associate degree is we really encourage you to come on campus for your foundation units, but it's different for your majors and minors. And something that I've really enjoyed as a lecturer is seeing the greater interaction between cloud and on-campus students post-COVID. So some of the things we're doing at Deakin since then has been to adapt, while all of the cloud stuff, the online stuff is available flexibly, you can listen to recordings in your own time, wherever you want. There's also in a lot of units now, the opportunity to join live. So a lot of lectures are live streamed. Students, if you're sick or isolating, you can stay home and join that way as a one-off. So we're really, I think, working towards a hybrid model that's, something that's a new thing. I guess we've been doing online for a long time, but we're adapting and kind of advancing that to make sure that that on-campus students actually get to have cloud students sometimes coming into their lectures and asking questions, which is, I think, a really fun thing to do.
Yes, and I would just add one more thing, which is that the library and the librarians, who are an important part of your life, if you're a Bachelor of Arts student in particular, are fantastic. And because Deakin has such a long history of working with students who are not on campus, the library is really a kind of well-oiled machine in supporting students who are not actually on campus. So it's not just the teaching, but all the kind of support structures around the BA are also very much equally available to students who are off campus. We'll try and get through just at least one more question, maybe 2. And I'm going to ask a question from Charlotte, because I know that that this will be a question that Paul and Petra are keen to answer. Charlotte's asked about the future career and global challenges phrases, which are obviously have obviously come up. What does that entail, and how is it different from before?
I might start this one off and then you jump in, Paul. So this is what we call the new BA, which you'll be able to enroll in from 2023. And one of the reasons that we're so excited about this, our new BA, is that it has these sequences that really help to prepare students to contribute to solve real-world problems, as well as apply their skills in real-world situations, as well as be able to develop your degree. So that sounds like quite a lot, which is why we have 2 streams, not to enable you to do that. So you'll start these streams again from when you begin at Deakin, from your first trimester, and they will guide you and shape you throughout your 3 years. And these are in addition to your areas of specialization. And we think that these are really important in enabling students to get a real sense of how their BA makes a difference in the world, and to equip you with this kind of skills and knowledges that you need to make an effective change in the world, and in your own world as well as the world around you. And by being able to do these units alongside your specialist majors and minors, this is where each students really bring their own unique perspectives to these units that you'll be doing with each other. And I think that's how we've called them global challenges, because they really encourage you to look outward, but you do it through your own unique lenses and together as students and cohorts. Paul, do you want to speak a little bit more to it, and maybe also through mention again our employability sequence in connection to this?
Yeah, I think there are two things with this that are important to kind of underline. It comes from what students have been telling us, from the student feedback we get. The two big things are, if I do a BA, will I be ready? Will I have the opportunities to go into the workforce? And so that's why we've got that stream about your future career, to make sure that you have the skills and you have those experiences of things like placements and internships and those opportunities to connect with partner organizations. And to really kind of develop what you might already be doing out in the community too. So that's one part of it. And the second thing that students consistently spoke to us about, and that we're responding to, is this idea of them wanting to have an impact. And I know that so many of you listening today will be in that situation thinking, I want to make a difference. I want to actually have an impact in my life. So many of you will already be doing things like volunteer work, or engaged in community groups and organizations, sporting events, all of those different things where you want to make a difference. You want to make your life better, and you want to make other people's lives better as well. And that's what that Global Challenges sequence will be about, is to give you both the opportunity to look at how arts graduates are already doing that, and then kind of look at some of those problems and tackle them, and be ready to go out into the world and make a difference, to have that kind of impact.
Thanks, everyone. Now, unfortunately, it is 9:59, and that means that's all we really have time for. I know there are a number of questions that we didn't get to. And so I just want to mention a couple of things. First of all, although Paul and Petra and Danielle and I will be logging off, our live Q&A response team will be continuing to respond to questions for about the next 10 minutes. So please feel free to stay on and wait for responses to your questions, because they're working hard at doing that. And of course, as I mentioned before, there's also the all-day web chat, that little yellow icon at the bottom right of your screen. And we've got our team there who can answer your questions, not just in the next 10 minutes, but all day. There's also lots of fantastic resources on our Deakin Open Day website. And we'd really encourage you to, if you haven't already, hop on there and have a look. So thank you all so much for joining us. It's fantastic to see so many of you interested in the Bachelor of Arts. We're all passionate advocates of the BA, and we would really love for you to join us here as part of that experience. Thanks for all your questions and for your time on making the time on this Sunday morning. And we really hope that we will get to see you at Deakin soon. Thank you, Paul, Petra, and Danielle, for your time as well, and for answering questions about the BA today.